Just buy it if you genuinely need a new toothbrush. Yes, it's a bold statement which I don't say lightly, but having tested the brushes I have, I know what separates the good from the bad. You're unlikely to be disappointed with the S2. This is a brush I will be using personally from now on. The S2 isn't perfect in every way, there are a couple of minor niggles. I don't like the fact that I need to apply about 10 to 20% more force to the teeth compared to similar brushes before the pressure sensor activates. Most brushes are more sensitive, limiting potential damage sooner. It is also slightly frustrating that I can't pause the brush during a 2-minute brushing cycle. A press of the power button stops the brush and resets the timer. It's one of the only brushes I know to act like this. Neither are deal breakers or reasons to avoid the S2 completely. I've got no complaints about the cleaning results I achieved with the S2. It's as good as the leading brand alternatives. The images on screen show my before and after results. The sonic motor is powerful and not particularly noisy, registering at 58 decibels in my testing. I like the simplicity of the S2. It has the things I need and not lots of unnecessary items. There is no Bluetooth connectivity or smartphone app. There are just 2 brushing modes, not the 6 or more brushing and intensity configurations that competitors might offer. It does limit choice somewhat, but I've learned that few users regularly switch between different modes, even if they are available. There is also a lack of data to show that more modes help achieve better plaque removal. Gentle clean and deep clean are the 2 choices. The LED above the power button is lit with a white and blue light respectively. It will default to the last used brushing mode each time I switch the brush on. I prefer the more intense deep clean. It makes use of the full 33,000 vibrations the sonic motor offers via the medium soft plant-based bristles. Despite being made from cornstarch and castor oil, I can't say they are better or worse in use than the petroleum-based plastic bristles of most other brands' brush heads. They are essentially like for like. They are arguably better for the planet because SURI recycles the heads. They run a free recycling scheme in the UK and the USA. Such a scheme helps prevent heads going into landfill, which is the case for the petroleum-based heads that the vast majority of other brands produce. According to their 2024 sustainability report, they have collected over 1/2 ton of used brush heads. That's a return rate of around 35%. A large number have been turned into 3D printing filament thanks to a partnership with the University of Exeter, whilst the remainder have been passed on to specialist recyclers who reuse the plastic in things like garden furniture. There is some way to go before SURI have a closed loop system. They do have their sights set on much higher return rates too. Unlike competitors, there is just one style of brush head available. This reduces the decision paralysis and puts the focus on brushing. I commend this. Whilst the one style is perfectly acceptable for most, an additional style with super soft bristles would be nice to have, particularly for those who have sensitivity in their teeth and gums. If you know you want a super soft bristled head, the S2 isn't for you. It's worth noting I have found fitting and replacing heads easier on the S2 than the first generation SURI brush, the S1. They are secure without being overly tight. With a dentist recommended 2-minute timer and pacer built in, the S2 helps me brush for the right amount of time. It powers off automatically at the end of the cycle. Compared to other brushes, the 30-second pacer alerts are more rapid and less noticeable. They certainly do the job, but they are slightly easier to miss. The slim and smooth metal handled brush is a delight to use. It isn't slippery, but those with dexterity issues might find the low profile to be less comfortable. At just 75 grams, it isn't exactly heavy either. Being metal, it feels durable and premium. With a choice of 5 different colours, there is one to suit almost everyone and doesn't look out of place in the most modern and stylish of bathrooms. The included magnetic mounting plate is a hugely undervalued accessory in my opinion. It lifts the brush off the countertop for a tidy look and reduces the chances of being knocked or being in range of rogue splashes. With a lack of textured surfaces and buttons, the S2 is easy to keep clean. I found the worst grime buildup to be under the head. Drips seep in the small gap between the head and handle. But it's super easy to clean here. A quick wipe and the dirt is gone. Despite my complaints about the force required to activate the pressure sensor, it is obvious that it has been. Not only are there strong vibrations in the handle and a noticeable sound change, the bristles stop moving completely. Whether you are deaf, blind or able-bodied, this is a clear sign to all that only relieving the pressure will resume the brushing cycle. Other brands should take note. For an experienced user like myself, I would rarely activate the pressure sensor on any brush, as I know the bristles need only skim the teeth. It is possible to turn it off completely if that is your preference. I can't think of many that offer this. It's rather unique. A neat feature is the ability to travel lock the power button on the S2 to prevent accidental activation. Press and hold the power button for 5 seconds. The light will shine orange once activated. This feature pairs well with the included plant-based brush head cover. Pop it on and it can protect the bristles from debris and damage when placed in a bag or pocket, for example. This is the lightest and most space-efficient approach for travellers, but also included is a charging travel case. The case is one of the slimmest and best on the market. It gives the range-topping Diamond Clean 9000 Prestige from Sonicare a run for its money. Slightly more rounded than the previous generation, it holds the brush handle and one head. The durable hard plastic case with secure magnetic closure allows the brush to be charged whilst inside. Providing the USB Type-C to Type-C cable that comes in the box is connected. That cable is about 50 centimeters long if you're interested. There is a small battery built into the case, but this doesn't charge the toothbrush. It powers the UVC light. Positioned above the bristles of the brush head, I can press the button on the case to run the 1-minute cycle. I am doubtful of the real value of this feature and how successful the sanitization is for such a short cycle, but it is certainly better than nothing. I do wonder if including such and the battery that powers it really fits with the eco-credential SURI promotes. There is an LED on the case to show the UVC light is active and when the brush is charging. A flashing white light means the brush is charging. It's fully charged if it's solid white. Despite the 5 colour choices for the handles all share the same accessory colours, the case and charging stand are a slightly dull and marginally off-white colour. The cables are white. Unlike the previous generation, the S2 does not have gold pins on the base of the brush handle. It has an inductive charging solution like the majority of electric toothbrushes. This means the charging travel case has been redesigned slightly and is easier to keep clean inside as a consequence. A small but noteworthy change. Such a modification helps resolve one of the reliability issues experienced with the S1. Grime builds up on the connector pins and has been known to render it unusable. This does also mean the charging stand has been redesigned. It is a shame, but long-term reliability is the aim here. The consequence is a cleaner design aesthetic with the S2. The cable hardwired into the magnetic charging stand is about 110 centimeters in length and has a USB-C connector at the end. No 2-pin to USB-C adapter is provided in the box. Many of us own such already or can source them easily. It can make charging more difficult until such times as USB ports are more commonplace in the bathroom. UK and European residents will likely find a need to charge this brush anywhere other than the bathroom. Importantly, SURI are embracing the latest connector standards. Charging should only be necessary about once a month. SURI says battery life is 1+ month. I have been achieving 38 days on average, so this claim holds true. This is more than acceptable when I consider that the handle is just 2 centimeters wide and 1 centimeter deep. There are far more chunky brushes from the likes of Oral-B that offer far less brushing time. It's down a bit from the 40 odd days of the S1, but the motor is more powerful, so it balances out. When the power is low, the LED will be lit red. The brush will emit strong vibrations and make a noticeable noise. A full charge of the lithium-ion battery can take up to 7 hours. SURI has built its brand on being a more environmentally conscious company. Due to costs and skill sets, the S2 is made in China rather than Europe or the USA. SURI makes a financial contribution to climate projects to offset its CO2 emissions, which were 3.8 million kilograms in 2024. They did reduce their emissions by 17.7% in 2024, which is progress. It's good to see that they are focusing on conducting life cycle assessments. Such gives much more granular data and understanding of the impact of their product, which can then be compared to others. It will be interesting to see how they fare, given that a 2020 study found that the environmental impact of an electric toothbrush was on average 11 times greater than a manual one. Can SURI reduce this? SURI is a B Corp certified company, which isn't commonplace within the electric toothbrush market. It means that the brand has proven higher standards of social and environmental performance and transparency, as well as accountability. A 1-year warranty is supplied by default, but registering online takes just a couple of minutes and extends that to 2 years for free. Why it can't just be 2 to start with, I don't know. Whilst the likelihood of failure is low, SURI does offer an affordable out-of-warranty parts replacement scheme. Sadly, you can't do it yourself, but for around £20, SURI will replace a defective battery, for example. This keeps the brush out of household recycling centres, as is the case with lots of competitors' products, particularly the budget brands. At the time of recording, the S2 costs £105 in the UK and $135 in the USA, including the travel case. SURI may sell the handle on its own at some point for a bit less. You can subscribe or make one-off purchases of the brush heads, but on average they work out a little under £5 or $6.50. This gives the total ownership cost of around £160 or $207 over 3 years. It's twice the ownership cost of the cheaper alternatives available in the UK and 40% more than those cost-effective yet recommendable models in the USA, but for what I am getting, there are some clear justifiable benefits. It is a far more complete package than cheaper alternatives. It feels nicer to use, looks better, is more environmentally considerate, has a decent battery life and an excellent travel case. And all things considered, it isn't commanding a huge premium. There are plenty of brushes 3 to 5 times the cost available from other brands that are not as well thought out as this. If you want a toothbrush that is better for the planet than most and or travel regularly, I urge you to strongly consider SURI. No, it isn't as widely sold and you won't be able to pick up replacement brush heads in every local grocery store like you can with Oral-B or Sonicare alternatives, but it's not a reason to avoid the S2. If you own the S1 or another perfectly functional toothbrush, don't switch to the S2 unless others can make use of your current brush. It's not what SURI or I want. But if you are in the market, click the link in the description to buy one for yourself. The S2 has definitely won a place in my bathroom. If you've got any thoughts or comments, please share them below.